Hey there folks, Jason here again. It is Sunday night, a balmy Sunday night in the greater Washington DC metro area. So didn't get a ton of stuff done, but what I did finish up, obviously you've seen from the title of this video, is my next infantry unit. I finished up the auxiliary infantry cohort for my Hail Caesar force. And you've seen this one. This one's taken me a little while, but I finished up the last 12 and did the basing and everything. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out. A couple videos back, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 videos back, you saw me doing kind of an initial review and then an update when I had the first 12 done. My impressions are still, largely unchanged. If you haven't seen that video, give it a look. I think the kit goes together well, and there's a fair bit of variety in there. There's enough. There's basically, aside from the command group in the front, so you've got the Cornicen, your Centurion, your Signifer, and then I found out this guy, who I wasn't sure about with the feathers on his hat, is the Optio, so the second in command. And then you've got 20 other figures with 4 different variations, and you can swap heads around. After I've got it all assembled and everything, I think there's a fair bit of variation, so it doesn't look like you've got 4 figures essentially repeating themselves over and over again. So I like the way it looks. I still think it looks a little haphazard when you compare it to, not haphazard, unruly maybe? I'm not finding the right word. When compared with kind of the regimented nature of a legionary unit. But I think it looks cool. I think it could be, maybe these guys are getting ready to, they've charged and are moving forward. So if I see if I can get any closer here. Yeah, so I think it looks good. It is kind of a bear to mount or to put them on the bases. Make sure they all line up. So if you're going to buy this kit, I would suggest that you assemble and base them all individually, and you mark them. You'll see here, if I can get it unstuck. I'm not sure why you're not coming off. Super magnet. I numbered them, 1 to 24. So they go down in a particular order. And I know I'm going to get comments that you should base them on larger bases. Might consider doing that now, but I do like to be able to have a fair bit of flexibility in how I use them and what different gaming systems I can use it on. That's more easily accomplished with individual bases. So, my thoughts, very briefly. I like the kit. I was a little nervous at first because I didn't think that there was going to be enough variation when there's only 4 different types and then you can swap the heads, but I think it ends up looking really good. Still not, you've got the haphazard nature of the way it looks. I'm just going to say that they are on the charge right now and they're getting ready to slam into something, so that regimented nature probably wouldn't be there. And the only other thing, let's keep on with the positive. So the transfers were awesome. They fit perfectly, and they're clear, so they go right on, and you just have to pick what color you want to paint the shield. I went with green just to contrast a little bit with the, I'm going to leave that guy out because I want to show you something else. To contrast with the red, so I'll have different units have different colors just to break things up on the battlefield a little bit, and we didn't really know what they used to paint, color they used to paint their shield, so I'm sure green's fine. It's fine because it's my army. So I think I really like that. The transfers fit perfectly. They were easy. The models are characterful. I already showed you some of the faces. The only other thing that I can think of, and I'm not sure quite how this happened or if it was intentional or not, is that the models are a little bit bigger than the other Warlord Legionary models. And I showed this previously, I think. So here is one. These are the guys I just picked up off the unit. So you can see he's kind of leaning forward. So he's not standing up straight, right? Oops. He's leaning forward. Well, here is the Centurion from... the Centurion from the regular Legionary box kit. I'm trying to line it up right. So you can see here that standing them up straight, so the centurion's basically standing up straight, the auxiliary infantry guy's leading forward, and they're the same height. So if this guy stood up, he'd be 3 or 4 inches taller, and it's that way with every single one. So I don't know whether they're trying to say that because, you know, the Auxilia typically were made up of non-citizens, that they came from a hardier stock, taller stock further north, or there just is a minor little, I don't know, it's not a casting, it's a design where they're both 28 millimeters, but some 28 millimeters are different than other 28 millimeters, you know, kind of go Animal Farm on this. Just something to be aware that, and you have to look closely, and it probably wouldn't jump on the battlefield, but these figures definitely are a little bit taller than Warlord's plastic legionary kit, at least the basic one. I haven't looked at the veterans yet. So, but since you're not really going to mix units, it won't be that obvious. I don't think it'll be that obvious at all at the tabletop. So, quick summary, quick assessment. I really like this kit. It went together well. After some finagling, it does set up on the table well. Why are you focusing up there? There we go. It just takes a little bit of forethought in making sure these guys are ranked up well. I'll turn them around. In terms of my own painting, I had a little bit of an issue today. So it was the first day. It was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, obviously outside. And so I finally did, normally what I've done in the wintertime, and don't tell my wife this, is I will matte varnish something outside and then run right back inside and light a candle, let the fumes burn off, but so you don't get the temperature change. Well, today it was like 40 degrees. I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to leave this out in the front porch, get some sun on it, some fresh air, it'd be great for the paint, right? We had a couple issues where the matte varnish cracked. It didn't get the frosting effect, it just cracked. So I just kind of painted over the top. These guys are blended in enough, you're not really going to be able to notice it. Only if I get up close and squint do I pick up on it. So that was really my only issue with it. I did the same basing, the MiG European Wet Earth with the Gale Force 9 flock, which I think looks good. And it matches the other Legionary unit and the Scorpion that I've got painted up. So yeah, this unit's done. It feels good to have 2 units finished up. In terms of what I'm going to be doing next, if you haven't seen 2 videos back, the last video was the War Games Foundry opening or unboxing. So I'm going to be taking a break from Hail Caesar for about the next month or so and just trying to go full bore on bolt action and trying to get through my Germans. British Legion and... oh, I'm blanking on his name. British Legion and somebody else. I just remember he's got a strange spelling of it. So I apologize if you're watching this video. Mea culpa. See my video from a couple back. They're doing the great bolt action paint off. TGBAPO. You see my video 2 back, my submissions for it. I've got a large list of things to do. And so I'm going to put this one aside and start cranking out German Field Grau and Dunkelgelb and things like that. So when I come back, I've got a couple different options. I've got some other things assembled. So if you haven't seen my, and I'm going to the back of my hobby desk here, hobby room. If you haven't seen what I did with the War Games Foundry stuff, I could take some units from that, but I've also got 2 other units assembled that I might start painting up next, just to kind of change things up a little bit. So I'm not sure what I'm going to come back to, but it's going to be a little while. So I'm just going to flip these up really quick. The first unit I have assembled, and it only took me 1 night to do, and that's why I did it quickly, was a small unit of Numidian light cavalry. So these are the Warlord metal models. And unfortunately, I kind of got these at a discount. And somebody had taken all of the shields and some of the shields and all the spears out. So I had to raid the Gallic shield set. And then I took some of the shields from the, I can zoom in a little bit, I guess. From the Roman Signifer shields, they use smaller, rounder ones. And just use that. And I would say in the game that these guys who are awesome light cavalry lost their regular buckler shields, and then the Roman cohort, they either stole it or they gave them some extra shields. So I could do that unit, and that'd just be a quick one to be able to finish out and have some light cavalry. Or while we're talking about cavalry, I've got another unit, again, painted up, or not painted, but assembled. This is the Warlord Auxilia medium cavalry with swords. So I'm not sure if these guys are going to show up because there's not a lot of contrast. But these are all magnetic bases. And right there, the battery died on the camera. So rather than waiting for it to recharge and finish filming that last little clip, because I suspect that most of you haven't made it this far anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick voiceover here and wish you all first hope you had a great weekend, hope you have a great week. As I kind of rambled along a little bit there just a minute ago. So Hail Caesar is going to be on hold for a little bit while I focus on my bolt-action Germans. When I get back, probably by the end of March, I hope to get as much of that stuff done as possible. Then I'm going to focus back on Hail Caesar again. I have an upcoming project that's still Hail Caesar related, but might be a little different, at least in terms of scale. But I'm going to keep working on my 28mm stuff, obviously. And I will update you on what that will be, whether it be some of the skirmishers or a command unit or some cavalry stuff, whatever it might be. So I also plan on doing kind of a tutorial or a how-to on how I at least painted my infantry figures. I think I've got enough done now that I can, at least with some confidence, give my thoughts on a way to paint up models reasonably quickly. At least for me, I'm not the world's fastest painter. So again, thanks for sticking with the channel. Appreciate your comments, appreciate your likes, appreciate your shares, appreciate your feedback most of all. So hope you guys have a great week, and keep on wargaming.